today we got a 1994 Chevy Blazer. Iconic American car. Good old Chevy Vortec 4.3 liter. 4L60E transmission. 4x4. We're going to get the dipstick pulled out already, unhook the battery and raise it up. Get started pulling this transmission out. Alright, we got this up in the air, and I lied. This is a 4x2. Be sad to own this. Some high performance exhaust. Yep. Alright, we're gonna get at this thing. You see it's been venting. Probably overheated. Rear seal leak, speedo housing leaking. Not bad, not bad. Nice. 7/16 bolts, gaps. Bar, be careful not to lose a cap. Alright. Alright, you always want to check your yoke surface and polish that up with some emery cloth. This one's good. Still can take a polish your U-joints. You always want them to feel really smooth. Rear one, never notchy. If so, replace them. All right, next up, we're gonna get the cross member off of this. Up in these holes, there are two 15mm bolts and attached by two nuts up there. One nut for the mount. I believe that's a 10mm holding them fuel lines on. And again, same on the other side, two 15mm nuts and bolts. Less extension you have, more torque you got with your gun. Mount nut, washer. Alright, next we got the fuel line on top of the cross member, 13mm. cross member's ready to come out. Alright, we also, before the cross member comes out, we got 15mm bolt there and there for a mount. And then we're gonna raise this transmission up a little bit and get that out of there. Jack the transmission up a little bit. Get that mount out of there. That mount's ripped. We'll get a new one. Twist the cross member. There you go. Alright, next up we got this delightful speed sensor. There you go. It's got two clips, one on each side, and it's leaking from the inside. So to fix that problem, this whole speed sensor is going to have to be replaced. Alright, we're going to let this transmission hang down just a little bit and work our way around it. Get the fuel line bracket that we're sitting on. Oh, you're sitting on 8mm. Oh, it broke. Alright, well, that broke inside there. We'll drill that out or put a sheet metal screw in next to the pad. Probably just drill it out. Alright, on the other side of the transmission we got another 8mm holder. This wiring out harness. And then no surprise, that broke too. This is a 4L60E, so it has this main solenoid plug. What you want to do is squeeze it on each side evenly and pull up on it. There you go. Always want to check the pins. Make sure they're clean and dry and that plug's not leaking, so that's good. We can retain that internal harness. The front of this thing. Alright, the front of this transmission, next up we're going to take out the 4 Dutch cover bolts. They're 15mm. There's 4 on this one. So we ran a brake line from there. There's 2 on this side. Alright. The shield's loose, but it's just not ready to come off yet. The transmission cooling lines are in the way. Maybe even the exhaust. This vehicle's really old, and I honestly don't want to mess with this exhaust. I think what I'm gonna do is take off this crude muffler and let this hang down a little bit farther. Get in there and remove them cooler lines. Alright, well I made a decision just to go ahead and remove the exhaust. I'm lucky that one, first one came loose. Surprisingly. Second one, spring and nut. A shower of rust. Alright, well that was easier than I thought. Let's go to the other side. Alright, let's see if the right side of this exhaust comes out as easy as the other. Pretty sad. This thing's about 23 years old, and you get 5-year-old cars that the exhaust does break. I don't necessarily think it's the manufacturer's fault. It's just how we produce steel anymore. But, well, they're all three out. We're gonna pull the exhaust down out of here now. Before we drop the exhaust, there's one oxygen sensor plug. We're gonna try to get that unplugged. So, all right, let's get this oxygen sensor plugged before we pull the exhaust down. Like that. Feed it through the line, and that's out. All right. Now, they kind of got this clamped on, kind of goofy, and I don't know if I really want to mess with that, so we're going to try just to pull the whole exhaust system down in one piece. Let's see. I'll tell you right now, this exhaust is not going to come out of here. So this video is easier to view and make it go a little smoother. I'm going to go ahead and try and get this apart. Those clamps that they use, clearly not factory, and they're a little bit difficult to get apart because they pinch it. You might need to go get that torch and heat it up. They clamped it on there pretty good. So we'll be back with the torch. Alright, we got our torch set. Acetylene, oxygen. You only want to turn on your acetylene about a quarter turn. Oxygen, you want to turn this valve on all the way. It has the potential of leaking if it's not turned on all the way. Good setting for these is 20 psi, and for acetylene, well, you want it about 7 when you're using it. I don't have my torch on right now, so let's get it fired up. Alright, acetylene. Add some oxygen. That's what you want. Basically, there's that crimp right there. You're going to want to heat up real good. Where that clamp was. Very red. Just keep moving your torch around. Always know where your fire extinguishers are when you're using a torch. So I just cut a little slot in the outside pipe, kind of relieve some of that crimp. We're gonna heat it back up and get this off of there. Oh yeah, she's coming right off now. Ready, Nick? Or somebody? It's like falling off. You can probably start wiggling it.
It's like bringing back to your old shop. We got an old fire burner, we got an old heavy bed.
Alright, there is your exhaust.
Back in the day.
High performance muffler. Alright, with the exhaust off, it really clears things up. We're going to get these lines out of the way so we can get that front shield off that we were working on before. You want to use a good 1/2-inch wrench. If it doesn't feel like the line's going to come loose, you might want to use a flared wrench or a line wrench. This one's even very more thicker. But these are coming loose, so we got them broke loose. And you can let this transmission hang down pretty far by the engine. Get you some room in there. Once you got these things broke loose, they're pretty easy to turn. I like to switch over to a 13mm just because you can get it on and off a lot easier. You don't want to use that to break it free, you'll strip it out though. Worst case, you're using vice grips on these things. Or I guess cutting them. It's not too hard to get a tubing bender. Put some new lines on, which this one might get, we'll see. Take a closer look when we get them out. Alright, the lines are out. And now the exhaust off this thing really opens it up. I pulled many of these with the exhaust on. I think it was a little more difficult because of that aftermarket muffler wouldn't let it drop down as far as I want it. But we're gonna come to the front and we've got 3 of them 15mm torque converter bolts. So that's next. Right, we got our first one lined up. Just like that. This nice flywheel turner that gets the job done quick. Use a pry bar, pliers, turn it by the crankshaft. Whatever you do, don't leave the ratchet on the crankshaft. During startup, that could cause some issues. Alright, well, there's 3 of them. I believe that's it. Inverter is free. Only thing left is bell housing bolts. Let's get over there. Alright, one last thing. We got to get this linkage rod off. There's a clip right here you want to pull off. Sit behind, jack you up a little bit. Alright, pull that out. A little clip like that. If you lose it, a cotter pin would work. Alright, then you want to push up on that, let the unit down a little bit and get her out of there. This one has a little washer up there, so. And also in here is a bushing, which is in good shape, but if that thing's missing, you might want to replace that. So, alright, now we're ready for the 6 bell housing bolts. Alright, these bell bolts are 9/16. There's one. A little too tight for this gun. A little more power. 1/2 inch impact. 2. 3, that one's in the stick. Slowly spin it out. Get it out of that hole. Right on the other side. Let's get this bottom one. Take a look if we can get that with a straight socket. Let's try some. I'll show you something in a second. Alright, I thought we were gonna have to bend the firewall a little bit right there, but I managed to get a swivel on it. Sometimes you take a pry bar and just bend right here. But she came out. Transmission's ready to come out of here. Be sure to put a bucket behind your dipstick tube. You're gonna need a big pry bar to get this thing pried off them dowel pins. Sometimes you just take a pry bar, tap up on this. The dipstick is stuck in the transmission. Goes. Alright. Pay attention to all your linkages and wires and lines. Stick. there you have it. It's a two-wheel drive 4L60E, 1994 model. Now that we got this out, we can take a look at the flywheel. Make sure the valve pins are in good shape, still in there. You never know if someone's worked on this before. So we got a dowel pin there, we got a dowel pin there. You always want to look for cracks along the edge of your flywheel. You always want to take a good look at the teeth here. Last thing you want to do is put this back in there with a cracked flywheel or some bad starter teeth, and you don't want to have to do this again. So, all right. Hope y'all enjoyed.